I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter.
Crawford Mayweather would have been an amazing fight in their prime. Just like you insert Ray Leonard in there, just like you insert Ray Robinson in there. What a round robin that would have been.
It's try. You catch him, he want to catch you back. You know what I mean? You fighting Bud, he's not. Bud's not running from nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I felt that I had the upper hand in our competition.
Canelo has reacted to Terence Crawford accepting Floyd Mayweather's fight offer by warning that Crawford would finish him in a fight. He said Crawford is the better fighter now and deserves all the credit for his achievements. Canelo called Terence amazing and praised his skill and timing. He believes Crawford has proven himself across weight classes and that fans and experts should recognize his greatness. He earned respect across the sport.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He know how to move and everything.
Garage Hackett gave his perspective on Canelo's comments about Terence Crawford, pointing out the contrast between Canelo's own loss to Floyd Mayweather and Crawford's victory against him years later. Hackett explained that when Canelo faced Mayweather at the age of 23, he was not fully developed as a fighter and lacked the refinement and experience he possesses now. By contrast, Crawford faced Canelo when he had already become the face of boxing and one of its most skilled champions. In Hackett's view, this context made Crawford's victory even more significant as it came against a version of Canelo at his peak, unlike the younger, less polished fighter who lost to Mayweather.
Heard that what I think is when Floyd beat me, I was 23, I wasn't polished. When Bud beat me, I was the man. I was the man. And he beat me fair and square. He beat me at my game and he beat me at his game. That's why Canelo said that. Do I believe that? It's tough to believe. We're not going to ever see Bud versus Floyd. And it's crazy. It's crazy because I would love to see that fight, but I know we're not going to see it. But I can only take Canelo's word because he's the man that's been in the ring with both of them. But I understand why he said it. I was a kid when I fought Floyd. He wasn't a kid literally, but he was young. He was young. There was a lot he didn't know. There was a lot he didn't understand about boxing that he later on learned and got better. But Bud beat the better version of me, even though it's the ran down version. I'm saying that because it is some wear and tear there with Canelo. I've been saying it the whole time. When a guy got almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he's been doing and all that, trust me, it's some wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying. I do give Bud his credit, though, for beating Canelo. And Canelo understands I am a better fighter today than I was back then. But that's hard to say because Floyd, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Bud took maybe 20% of what Floyd did and added that to his repertoire for this fight. So that's why I'm saying it's tough to say that.
Joe Rogan expressed sheer amazement at Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez. He highlighted the fact that Crawford moved up 2 entire weight classes at the age of 37, a feat rarely seen in the history of boxing. Rogan stressed that no fighter at this stage of their career has managed to challenge and defeat someone of Canelo's caliber, making the achievement historic. For him, it was more than just a win. It was a landmark moment that displayed Crawford's greatness and solidified his reputation as one of the most remarkable athletes in the sport.
It's like, you're watching, like, wow, towards the end, towards the final rounds, it really started getting comfortable and really started putting it on him. I'm like, this is amazing.
You know, one of those rare, like, that's history, obviously, right? Watching somebody do, you shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to fight at that weight for the first time ever
against one of the greatest,
undisputed greatest of all time, fucking, and do what you did. It is beyond, like, my favorite, an outlier. You're beyond an outlier. You're something, you're an anomaly.
Yeah. Something special. And
something really
30,
special.
I believe he's 37.
Yeah. One of those where you shouldn't be able to do that by any account. By any account, 37, my body was so wrecked. I'm like, fuck you. You know, I can barely go bowling.
Paulie Malignaggi weighed in on the ongoing debate about whether Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford is the greater fighter. He noted that discussions like these will never truly reach a conclusion because each fighter represents a different era with distinct challenges and circumstances. Malignaggi emphasized that comparing them is a fascinating debate for fans and analysts, but ultimately endless, as both men have strong cases for greatness. He recognized Floyd's flawless record and legendary career, while also giving credit to Crawford's ability to conquer multiple divisions and defeat elite opponents. For Malignaggi, the conversation itself is what makes boxing exciting, even if there is no definitive answer.
Tough 154 pounders and it was in a young Canelo and a very tough Cotto who was punching very hard from 40 to 54. You know, remember Cotto had knocked out Delvin Rodriguez at 54. He'd still done some damage at 54, and I thought
won a title at 60.
Yeah, and I thought he knocked out Martinez at 60, and I thought he gave Mayweather a pretty good fight at 54. I don't know. I can't say I disagree or agree. I just think that Mayweather, because it's so far away, so long ago, you know, and people sort of start to underestimate the things he did. You know, people talk about Canelo takes his repertoire from the Mayweather repertoire. No, he doesn't. Mayweather fought ex-champions. This guy's fighting guys who will never even smell, may never smell a belt in their life, and he was fighting them. So. You know, Mayweather, even if you're saying, oh, he didn't fight the very best, he still fought champions and ex-champions, even at 47, even at 54.
Timothy Bradley offered a bold opinion, suggesting that Terence Crawford would have the tools necessary to defeat Floyd Mayweather as well. Bradley explained that Crawford possesses the perfect blend of intelligence, adaptability, power, and technique to counter Floyd's defensive brilliance. He argued that Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight and his sharp timing would make him a nightmare for Mayweather, even in his prime. Bradley's statement reflected his deep admiration for Crawford's skills and his belief that the Omaha fighter belongs in the same conversations as the greatest boxers of all time. To him, Crawford is not just good. He has everything it takes to surpass even the most untouchable fighters.
The GOAT, oh, absolutely. But Terence Crawford will whoop his ass. He would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you right now, he will beat Floyd Mayweather too. He will beat him too. He got everything it takes to beat Floyd. Floyd struggled in the first half against Zab Judah. Zab Judah, a damn terrific fighter. Terrific fighter, but he ain't no damn Terence Crawford. Especially from the southpaw position. Floyd didn't like fighting southpaws. Floyd reached with that right hand. You think he gonna reach against one of the best back foot counterpunchers in the game? He gonna reach with that right hand against Crawford? He gonna get slept reaching with that backhand, the way he reaches with that. That level change backhand he throws too, man, that pull jab he does too, that ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. Floyd got a 72-inch reach. Yeah, he had quickness, fast reflexes. However, Crawford got all of that too. He got all of that too, and he got a 75-inch reach. Great counterpuncher. Can concentrate all night. can put pressure on Floyd. He can even invite Floyd in. Yep, I noticed. Floyd's not having success. He started to step on the gas. That's what he do. And he gonna run into problems with Crawford because Crawford hits harder than him.
Some voices in the boxing world argue that for Crawford to surpass Mayweather's legacy, he must aim for a monumental challenge against Dimitri Bivol. Bull, known for his size, skill, and dominance at light heavyweight, represents a test that could elevate Crawford's legacy even further. These critics claim that a victory over Bivol would cement Crawford as greater than Floyd because it would demonstrate his ability to beat a prime, bigger, and technically brilliant opponent. Such a win, they argue, would erase any doubts and establish Crawford as the ultimate historical figure in boxing, achieving feats beyond what even Mayweather accomplished.
Let's see Bivol, Bud next, since Bud's so strong. That's what I said. Why are you talking about 54? None of them dudes gonna get you up. If you truly beat Canelo, why not be the greatest fighter in the existence of boxing? Like, Bivol was the only dude to beat 2 undisputed active champions. Like, he beat Canelo as an undisputed champion, and he beat Better Beef as an undisputed champion. Bivol, historically, might go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. If you beat Bivol and you beat Canelo, I mean, Crawford might have surpassed TBE in Floyd. Floyd has never beaten someone as accomplished as Bivol. And forget about accomplishments like perceived threat. Who's Bivol on Floyd's resume?
Reports are circulating that Terence Crawford is aiming to make history by becoming a 6-division world champion, a milestone that only a handful of fighters in boxing have ever achieved. Already recognized for conquering multiple weight classes and defeating elite opponents, Crawford's ambition to climb even higher showcases his hunger to test himself at every possible level. The idea of him competing at middleweight has fueled excitement across the boxing world, as it would mean stepping into the 160-pound division against naturally bigger and stronger fighters.
And Terence Crawford and his team stated that if he does stay in the sport of boxing and he does move down, he's not going to drop down below 160. And so it's being reported that Terence Crawford wants to become a 6-division champion. And a guy that he had his sights set on is now calling him out aggressively and daring him to come down and fight him. And that's Janibek, who is seen to be the best 160-pounder in the world. And he's the unified IBF and WBO 160 middleweight world champion. The middleweight division, 160, is a glamour division. There's the top 3 glamour divisions in the sport of boxing is welterweight, 147. Terence Crawford knocked out every opponent he faced at welterweight and became undisputed there.
Adding further intrigue, Yannick Connolly has stepped forward with a direct challenge to Crawford, daring him not to be afraid and to face him at middleweight. Janbek, an undefeated champion with a growing reputation, sees this as an opportunity to secure a career-defining fight against one of the greatest boxers of this era. For Crawford, accepting such a challenge would not only be a pursuit of legacy, but also a chance to prove his dominance over yet another weight class. Whether this matchup materializes or not, the mere possibility has stirred debate among fans and analysts, marking Crawford's future path as one of the most closely watched stories in the sport.
He faced at welterweight and became undisputed there. The next glamour division is middleweight, 160, that Marvin Hagler, made famous, many middleweights, Sugar Ray Robinson. It's a glamour division, right? Sugar Ray Leonard moved up there, Tommy Hearns, that's a glamour division. And obviously, the division that carries the sport of boxing when it's on top is the heavyweight division. Then you can make a case for the lightweight division, so on and so forth, right? I would say the lightweight division is number 4. So Terence Crawford became a champion at lightweight, right? So with that said, you have Janibek, who's seen as the best fighter there. He's the IBF WBO champion.
An analyst reflected on the story of Miguel Silky Smooth Gonzalez, the last man to defeat Terence Crawford back in the amateur ranks. He noted that overcoming Crawford now would require extraordinary preparation and skill, similar to how opponents once viewed Floyd Mayweather during his prime years. The analyst highlighted that Crawford has become one of the sickest fighters in the game, combining defensive sharpness with offensive precision. Just as Mayweather's style frustrated challengers for years, Crawford now embodies that same aura of invincibility. His ability to to adapt, avoid punishment, and strike with accuracy makes him the kind of fighter opponents know they must train endlessly to even have a chance against.
Beat Terence Crawford. What did you do to actually get a win over him?
I agree with Augie. With what he said about Floyd, I'm going to say about Crawford. You got to punch with Crawford. You got to counter Crawford and punch with Crawford. You got to bang the body with Crawford. You got to stay on top of Crawford. You know what I mean? Fight him in that phone booth if you can. I mean, as I remember, that's exactly what I did. You know, Crawford, he switches and all that. I don't get that. I don't get out my hookup with all the switching he does. But what tripped me out was he got low in the ring. Like, he kind of like cut his height down. I had a field day with that. He should have stayed tall. You know, he cut his height down, and you know, I stayed in his chest. You know, and you gotta counter Crawford. You gotta fight Crawford. And what I always thought about Crawford was he's easily taken out his hookup. I thought, you know, maybe he fought his fight. I thought he fought my fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he grew out of getting out of his hookup. I think
Because,
I think he learned how to just kind of adjust and do what needed to be done more so.
Break that down for us, guys. What do you guys mean the hookup? Break that down for us.
So yeah, you know what?
Getting caught up in a war?
I'll go ahead, Miguel. Like break down Bud getting caught out of his hookup.
Well, you know, with Bud, I thought, you know, but you can easily get Bud to fight you.
Back in the day. Yeah. And you know, Gamboa, you know, showed parts of that. You know, and Bud, all his fights, Bud fights you. Yeah.
Bud gets, you know what I mean? Every fight I see Bud fighting, even still to this day, but I totally understand what Sean's saying. For sure. Bud's the truth. But when I see Bud fighting, you catch him, he want to catch you back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You fighting Bud, Bud's not running from nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I felt that I had the upper hand in our competition.
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime trainer, offered his own insight into the victory over Canelo Alvarez. He described the fight as easy for Crawford, emphasizing how well prepared they were for every scenario. Bomac also addressed the criticism surrounding Crawford's career choices, pointing out that many fans and analysts constantly suggest opponents they believe he should face. When Crawford doesn't take those fights, accusations of ducking arise. However, Bomac dismissed those claims, insisting that Crawford is simply pursuing his own path rather than fulfilling other people's desires. He argued that Crawford's legacy should not be dictated by public demands, but by the success he has consistently achieved in the ring.
Absolutely, but they're probably thinking the way we were all thinking that just because of the weight he should be okay because he's the naturally bigger man. But someone like Crawford, obviously, who's done what he's done, you have to be on the top of your game. And I felt with Canelo, it was probably too many single shots that he was throwing, but he wasn't throwing the usual singles and backing it up because he was getting counted. And
he wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, it wasn't just that Canelo was bad is what I'm trying to get at. Crawford was absolutely sensational on the night and the deserved winner and one of the best.
Because the other side of the
now.
argument would be that they actually thought they might be getting Crawford at the right time because he hadn't fought for a while and had some particular surgery. I mean, did it go, as I said to you at the top of the show, Bomac, I mean, I watched you in the corner and I thought it was a exercise in how a corner should be conducted in terms of the communication, the coherency of it and the discipline behind who spoke, when they spoke, what they said and what needed to be heard. Did the fight go exactly as you had mapped out in your mind and what you thought would manifest itself? Is this your last fight? You know, which really annoyed me with Max Kellerman going in and making that the stop part of his questions. Do you think, Bomac, that he gets the recognition and the appreciation that his achievements merit?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Why do you think that is?
I think because of the simple fact that Terence is his own man. You know, he knows the path that he wants to go. And some of the boxing critics or some of the boxing people around boxing figure he should go this route or he should go that route. When he didn't go that route and he went this route, he's ducking he's ducking the other middleweights. I mean, the other welterweight. So he's ducking the 140-pounder. No, he's not ducking them. He's just not available. Well, he should have went this way. I didn't want to go that way. I wanted to go this way because that's the way I wanted to go.
Tony Jeffrey contributed to the debate by reflecting on Floyd Mayweather's unique qualities that made him untouchable in his era. He explained that Mayweather's brilliance was not only about his defense, but also his footwork, timing, and ability to outmaneuver opponents. According to Jeffrey, Floyd's movement was near flawless, allowing him to frustrate even the best fighters. Moreover, he reminded fans that Mayweather fought and defeated a series of legends during his career, further validating his greatness. Jeffrey's remarks served as a reminder that while Crawford's accomplishments are extraordinary, Mayweather's career remains one of the most decorated and technically remarkable in boxing history.
But if you study Floyd closely, like I have, you will notice that he never wastes any steps while he's in the ring. He will pivot just enough to take away the angle from the person in front of him, then he will reset in the center of the ring, and his movement and his footwork was just perfect. And it was his feet that made him control every single fight, putting him in the perfect position to defend punches, then that small little sidestep either way to put him into the position to be able to land punches back. And he would also use his front foot to apply pressure with them small little steps, waiting for that moment to land them punches. And if you train boxing, you should be constantly working on the specific footwork things that you need to work on, because you might agree with me, but without good feet, nothing else matters.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.